Hey, so what's going on, guys? Finally, we have an Olympic weightlifting total at the CrossFit Games. When I saw this announced last week, I was like, yo, let's go. I was super stoked to watch it. Every single year, you know, they have something. It's a max snatch, it's a max clean and jerk, it's a max clean, overhead squat, snatch ladder, clean and jerk ladder, right? CrossFit total. They always have something that's some kind of max, some kind of barbell, something, but they've never had a snatch, clean and jerk. They've never had a weightlifting total. Super stoked to see all that weightlifting out there. Of course, to judge all the weightlifting out there as well. I'm always positive with the lifts, but I get excited for really good lifting, and I get excited for the tougher lifting, the rougher lifting, because I know there's a lot of area, and when I see it through a coach's lens, for opportunity for that athlete. So it always makes me want to help them or reach out and be like, hey, just let me help you a little bit with your technique. But anyway, here's how I would tackle it. Here's some tips I would have if you're a CrossFit Games athlete, if you're an athlete who's tackling this at home. So it's max snatch, max clean and jerk, but you only get 2 attempts at both in a 20-second window. So that's tough. That is a total game changer for how you pick your attempts. If you get 3, it's very easy, in theory, to pick your attempts, because the first one, get something on the board, feel good, whatever. It's a different ball game with 3 compared to 2. However, the 20-second clock, I think, makes up for it. So I think a lot of people won't see that 20-second clock as beneficial as what it's really going to be, especially in the snatch. The clean and jerk's a little different, so I'm gonna talk about the snatch first. I would pick your first weight in the snatch, something that if I woke you up at 3 a.m. or if it was your worst training day of all time, you still know you can snatch. Hopefully that's at least 90%, right? Because I want you to take it at the start of the 20-second clock. Like the second it buzzes, you're going. Like I want that almost to be your, oh, it's time to lift, go. That way, if the worst case scenario, you can still take it before the buzzer hits, is the bar only needs to leave the ground before the buzzer. It doesn't have to be completed before the buzzer. So that's a big deal where you have a little bit of wiggle room, especially at that first weight. That's probably between 90, 94%, 95%, to really have a little bit of wiggle room and buy yourself time by taking that early in the clock. Now, the more experienced and confident you are as a weightlifter, the higher that percentage is, right? You might be closer to 95% for that opener. The only way I would judge that, though, is based on your warm-ups. So I would attack your warm-ups heavily before you go out there, because you're gonna have a long rest when you're out there. But this is a Saturday night event at the CrossFit Games for Games athletes. You have events, a lot of events prior to this. So you don't know exactly how you're gonna feel. You don't know what events are before that. So you have to trust your own training and your own body and how you're feeling in the warm-ups, right? You, of course, adrenaline on the floor will hopefully help you, but you have to trust warm-ups and use that as like, hey, I always like to stay 1 away. So I always like to, in warm-ups, I would hit maybe my last weight before that next jump. So say I was gonna open up at 285 as an example, I'm taking 275 as my last jump in warm-ups. Because I don't like taking the weight in the warm-ups personally, because I want it to be a fresh weight that I have to be super mentally aroused for in order to hit it out there on the competition floor. Where if I've hit it in the back room, I have a tendency to be less aggressive on the floor because I've already hit that weight, right? So that's just me personally. You have to know kind of how you feel and where your mental arousal will be, but that's just a little tip from me. 90 to 95% depending on your experience and confidence in the snatch to open, and take it at the start of the clock. And the next attempt, it's all how the first one felt. If you feel like, hey, you're in PR territory, go get it. If your fatigue's kicking the crap out of you, then take a smart jump, secure what you can. Maybe that's a 5-pound, maybe that's a 10-pound, but take another jump to get the weight in. I think you're gonna see a lot of athletes stretch too far on their second attempts if they don't open up big enough. So they might take a 20, 25-pound jump. Well, then that's gonna shock them, might be too big of a jump. You might secure a lot more points by taking a smarter jump, opening up slightly heavier so you can afford yourself that second attempt that's a little bit closer. Now the clean and jerk. This is where you have to be even smarter. The snatch, your technique and finesse can get you, allow you to get away with a little bit more, right? In the clean and jerk, your legs probably are either shot on the clean or they're not, right? you're doing a lot of endurance events prior to this for the games athletes, and for the general folk, of course, still a lot of the same tips go, but you're doing a lot of events before this, so you have to trust how you're feeling, right? And take the smarter jumps in the clean and jerk. I do the same thing in warm-ups, and I would recommend it, staying one away from your final weight. So if you plan to take 220 on the first attempt or 320 on your first attempt, take maybe 210 in the warm-up area as your last warm-up. And same thing for the males. If they're taking that as their opening clean and jerk, stay away a little bit, and then that first one on the floor, your adrenaline and arousal is going to be higher because you haven't hit it yet. But you have to be even smarter in the warm-ups with your clean and jerk, listening to your body. Because if your legs aren't there, they're just not there, you won't be able to stand up on that clean, and then there's really not much you can do. So really listen to your body, realize there's going to be an adrenaline dump from the snatch, so get some food in you before the clean and jerk. Get some sugar, get some Gatorade powder, get any kind of a snack, some kind of sugar to get the sugar back up, because if you go in the snatch and you're going to be revved up to a max, it's not a lot of physical output compared to what else you're doing, but mentally and on your just nervous system, it's a lot of output for that max snatch. So you need something to get your blood sugar back up, get your energy back up, so you're not too lightheaded coming out of that clean, and then that way you have the best chance for the jerk. So for the jerk, clean and jerk, it's more so trust your intuition. I would have the same warm-up recommendations, that 90 to 95% range, depending where you're at, depending your confidence level, depending how your legs are feeling. But I think this one really is listening to your body a lot in warm-ups to make sure your first attempt is aggressive, but smart, something you're going to make. Still take the clean and jerk at the front of the clock on the first attempt especially, and depending how the clock situation goes, you have to make that call whether to take it at the front or the end of the clock on your last attempt. If you needed more rest, wait to the very last second on your final attempt, because let's be real, you're really probably only going to clean it once, so if it's the jerk that's the issue, you don't have enough time. So those are my tips. Super excited to watch that event this year. Been waiting for a total like this for a long time at the CrossFit Games. Gonna be super excited to watch. I'm sure I'll be doing some content about a lot of the lifting that I see out there as well. But those are my tips. Games athletes, of course, you guys are gonna crush it. In the general folk that are hitting the same workout, love to see you crush it as well. I have the exact same tips for you. Of course, you might not be as generally fatigued, but chances are you're doing a lot of the games workouts as they go anyway, so maybe you are. But have fun with it. Pick smart attempts, gain confidence as you're doing it in the warm-ups. Treat your warm-ups like they truly are 1RMs, because if you're trying to conserve energy in your warm-ups by being lazy, the bar is going to feel heavier the whole time. So get a little bit excited in the warm-ups too, especially on your last 2 or 3 attempts, to give yourself some confidence going out on the floor. All right, good luck, crush it. Excited to watch. Especially excited to watch some of the Invictus athletes crush it, because we got some dogs. Oh, just thinking about some of the athletes out there who are going to crush that. Oh man, Jorge, Josh, Chandler, Sam, Jen. We have plenty of other females as well. I mean, on the female side, it's half of them as well on the teams as well. So those are the ones that came to right at the top of the mind that I'm like, yep, it's going to be a great event for a lot of us Invictus athletes. So excited to watch, good luck, and have fun with it.